What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of April 19th through the 25th of 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you for tuning in. Hope you're doing amazing out there. Quite the week. By the way, if you haven't and you enjoy this content, please do become a member at fixedairmoon.com for the dailies and the weekly sun and rising horoscope and a tarot show, and a great place to be you on the internet without worrying about people tearing you down for having a difference of opinion, which is wild to think that everybody should have the same opinion on every single thing right now, but kind of where we're at. Anyways, big shifts this week. We're going to have the sun and Mercury on Monday, Ingress into Taurus. Lots of Taurus energy. Venus is there. Venus has the highest dignity score. We're seeing a lot of dignity scores drop. So where we had these very intense scores, lots of energy coming in, things are slowing down. And I think it's important to slow down and sort of build that relationship to self right now, to focus on your values, your self-worth, and, to really, look at that person in the mirror and, say that I love you to that person, because, if you don't love yourself right now, it's a hard thing. And I think that this is a great time to build that relationship with self, to sort of find that really strong relationship and stability within self, so that we can bring in abundance and we can manifest and have good things. And I think this is a time to look at the sort of life that you want to bring in. What are the nice things you want? Taurus it's slow, but at the same time, that energy moves fast for the ultimate life, for the greatness, for amazing things. So, pursue the beautiful aspects of your reality. And I think that that's such a beautiful trait that we have right now. So I think that the more we find that value of self, the better that we feel and the more we can manifest. Also, money comes up big. So we're going to start to see interesting things take place within money in the world, institutions, especially coming off those squares to Pluto last week in Capricorn. Money's definitely something to keep an eye on. Crypto looks great, I'll be honest. So not financial advice to go buy crypto, but if you're not into it, you might want to consider it and, just look at different aspects or learn more about it so that you can sort of just have that as an option. We are in this Jupiter-Saturn in Aquarius cycle for the next 20 years, and Aquarius is very innovative, technology, internet. So, and Uranus being the dispositor of Aquarius and Taurus, it does bring up money. So I think that crypto is there's a lot of bullish intent going on there. Where it's going to go, I don't know. How long, I don't know, but I think it'd be worth, if you're not into it or know anything about it, to start learning about it. If you feel called to, of course. Also, Venus and Mercury are going to meet up with Uranus. So, and each other. So this is definitely a powerful week when it comes to taking that next level, going higher in life for your values and the relationship to self and how you feel about your physical world and your manifestation abilities. I think that this is, in many ways where we take a huge next level up to the understanding of connecting our heart with the divine, connecting our mind with the divine, because Uranus is the god of the heavens, and it's as close to sort of God in some ways that we can sort of understand and channel in. And we want to get up into that energy. And I think that that's so important right now, is that, the spirituality is going to be such a savior as we come into the reality that we're in now. And finding that really grounded value in that connection is probably one of the best benefits we could have, and probably where you're going to get the most truth. So it's very hard to find truth in the world right now. What is truth? Very subjective, very opinionated. It all kind of depends on your beliefs and what side you're on. And there's even more than one side or two sides. There's millions of different sides right now for all different beliefs. I think you want to really tune into the one that vibes with you spiritually, and that's the one that you're going to get the most truth, that's going to find you, whether it's synchronistic or you're just going to be guided to look in certain directions and do your own research with a North Node in Gemini. Very important. You don't want to be just told anything from either side of whatever side you're on, because, did you research it yourself, or are you just listening and following what someone else is saying? I think it's important that, we value sort of our own understanding of what the physical world is going through, and especially with Mercury and Venus square Saturn, there's a seriousness, and there's also blocks up with trying to go to the next level in life. So interesting aspects this week. And Mars, of course, on Friday is going to move into Cancer, which is its fall position. So this is the worst position for Mars. And not that if you have Mars in your natal chart that's you're just screwed. That's not the case at all. Mars in Cancer has beautiful manifestations of it. But this is a big shift from Gemini, which is very quick energy, very all over the place with the North Node. This was like, we were trying to take a win by really understanding our own truth and taking in as much information as we can and switching lanes to get to places in life. And now it's like a lot of people are going to be retreating. Like Mars in Cancer has major retreat vibes. Like it wants to kind of go into its shell, and people can get in like really easily to your emotional body. So like fighting, like people feel it deeply, and it gets to you, and it kind of like paralyzes the warrior, and it really waters down our oomph and this sort of drive and forward progression of even the warrior within us spiritually. And there's beautiful things about it too, where we could really be sticking up for people that aren't sticking up for themselves, or I think this helps you want to take care of people too. Like if people are feeling down and out, like, and you have the energy and the value within yourself, this is great, where you're going to be able to kind of pick people up and nurture them sort of back to health. So there's a great sort of reviver energy that comes with this, as well as for some people feeling like they need to be revived. So different vibe, slowed down, much lower dignity scores this week, but that's astrology, right? We're always changing. We're always going in these different places, and we're going to start to see Pluto move really close to its retrograde. That'll be on the 27th next week. So Pluto's slowing down. Saturn's going to flip after that. So we're getting into retrograde season. We're in slower energy altogether. Let's take a look at the charts. So we had all the planets fast and direct, and on the 27th, Pluto's going to flip and go retrograde. So Pluto's going to start slowing down big time. It's going to stay right in this area pretty much, 26 degrees. And that's all we get this year, 26, till the Pluto return next year. Pretty wild stuff. And then I have this set for when the sun comes into Taurus, and you can see, this is still with Mars in Gemini, but not sharing reception with Mercury any longer. So it's just a major downgrade. But Venus still killing it this week at home in Taurus. So the receiving energy, to receive love of self, to receive love of other people, I think is so important. To see the beauty and balance of life right now is important in finding stability in this world. So that's a great energy that we have. What's interesting too about this chart on Monday is just all the 0 degrees that we're going to see. We will see 0-0 Mercury with 0-0 Sun as they are conjuncted coming in, which is interesting too, because this is at 1:33 when the Ingress happens on the Pacific West Coast of America. So they finish up at the 29 degrees of Aries, which is where Mars was when January 6th happened. So I've been saying like Sunday, Monday is a very interesting day with the Sun and Mercury coming across that 29th degree of Aries. It's interesting to see where things get sort of set for the week as that progresses. So we'll see what happens. But I think it comes right back into, we shift into this Taurus energy of really finding our stability in life, and whatever happens, whatever gets shaken up in the world, this is like a great week to really try not to get lost in it, to try and stay in like a spiritual truth place of like keeping your vibe high, keeping that relationship to self good, and not like just losing it, because it feels like there's just energy out there that's going to try and bring some sort of chaotic energy, and it kind of starts off the week with this, which could be some sort of it's intense energy. So we'll see what does come from that. It could be big in media, or it could be projected to everybody to see, or it could just be in your own life where there's some sort of intensity that you're feeling that you have to really kind of ground out as we come into Taurus and like understand it, better within self. Also, the moon is going to come to 0 of Leo and make that first quarter square, which will be at like 12 or 11:58 on the West Coast. So it won't even be on Monday for most of the world, but on the West Coast it will, at 0 degrees as well. So there's just a lot of this Plutonian energy. Pluto would be the number 0 in the numerology I practice. So there's just this, it's a major sort of investigative energy into our heart, our values, and like going in that direction and finding stability within our emotions. This is, when it comes to Leo and Taurus, it's like the ultimate in life has to be connected to the heart. Like if your heart isn't in the physical things in life, like they don't matter. Like you have to be fully in. They have to excite your heart, bring you real joy and happiness, and then you go and you go for the best of the best. So I think this is a big, Monday's kind of like we want to go for the best of the best and understand where that's going. So we want to investigate like really what the best is in our life and how we can get there and how we can ground in that. And that's going to give us a lot of confidence. So it's a great day to love self, to make sure the relationship with self is strong, see the beauty of life. I think that we do slow down a little bit, but we're also getting, as at 1:33 when the sun moves in, we are really getting half a day in 1 degree for the sun, and then half a day in the next degree for the sun. So there is this like 2-part to every day, which does sort of speed things up, even in a slower energy than the Aries energy that we've been feeling. So Mars too, coming off the trine to Jupiter, and as well as a quincunx to Pluto. It's just very interesting, like, and at the 27th degree here, which is very Martian energy, like there's information that's coming in that's that we're going to have to like really process and like make a decision. So it just seems like decisions are coming, and you really have to find your value in life right now and use that to your benefit so that you can open up doors and connect and have a bigger understanding of where we're trying to innovate and grow in this world. And we also get Pluto opposing the moon on Monday. So lots of Plutonian energy on this Monday. So it just seems like this is a major sort of weird sort of pull towards like the start of this transformation. We're going to start to see things change, and kind of even in just our personal life, like we're going to start to see aspects that just no longer matter, that we're going to have to move in a different direction of. And especially with the moon in Cancer, like when it comes to our feelings and what brings us comfort in life, and even with the Taurus energy too, really like what is bringing the comfort in life. And it's interesting too to see Jupiter in square to Algol, which is the demon star. And it's interesting too to see Lucifer, the asteroid, on Regulus with the sun trining it. So there's just this like, there's a very interesting energy out there right now that I think like your greatest gift can be stepping into your values, but at the same time, if your values are actually a detriment with Algol they're, you don't want to expand in that direction. Like this is where spiritual discernment is so important, I think. And we don't want to overindulge in sort of the reality in a lot of ways, because it seems like the reality is more so in a place where people are going to be over righteous and think that they're really stepping into some sort of regal belief that there's only one right way to move forward right now. And I think that it's an interesting energy. It just feels like there's something dark that's trying to keep people out of their values of self and really mess with people. So we just want to be spiritually discerning, I would say, on Monday. On Tuesday, we do pretty much get that square, which is Leo and Taurus. So we kind of come off that first quarter square on Tuesday, and it's definitely about the values. It's about what makes your heart feel good. And I think that we're going to want to shine and express, but the moon goes through quite a bit here. It's also going to square over to Mercury, Venus, Uranus. Like, there's something that we need to move up to a higher sort of frequency of. I think there's a lot of understanding within relationships. There's sort of just a big time elevator that our heart needs to take. And especially with Venus approaching Uranus, like, we got to move higher into like a more pure value space than just what's being told. Of course, you guys know that I am very, this 22 degree Neptune that we've never seen before is very strong, and that 22 degree is erratic energy. So we just can't fall for anything. We just got to be more tuned into self, more tuned into a better spiritual calling of a physical world that's going to feel good, because there's going to be an energy. And I get that with this, that like, this is a week where there's a lot that's going to try and take people out of comfort, take people out of value, and have people, just do whatever they're told. So it feels like there's just a lot of propaganda, and it doesn't even just come from mainstream media. Like, this comes from anything with a black screen, which is even the screen that you're watching this on. So, does this vibe with your spiritual, antenna? Like, is this coming in and resonating with you? If not, throw it away. Like, that's the beauty of the spiritual discernment I'm talking about. Like, just vibe with what vibes with you. Don't take everything for what it is. Like, and do your own research with the North Node and Aldebaran. Like, the light is really in sort of a bigger understanding of where your power's at, what's light, what's not, and going into that vibe 100. So I think that's very important. And that moon's going to post Saturn too. So there is this sort of T-square energy to Uranus with the moon today. It's an interesting start to the week. I think that, really we see a lot sort of start to break and shatter, and where are those shards going? And are we letting them kind of get to us on a very deep level? Or are we able to really have that self-worth and value within us to, have sort of our emotional courage to not get lost, to not get, whatever, some sort of, I get a lot of dark energy that's trying to do weird things coming into this week. So, gotta kind of stay up on another perspective and like really objectify reality with Uranus too, God of the heavens. So we want to take a higher perspective look at what's going on before we just kind of lose ourselves in strangeness, if there is strangeness going on in your life. And there can be a projection of it. So we'll see. Wednesday's interesting because we get the moon coming off those squares, but it's also going to be really opposing the midpoint of Jupiter and Saturn. It's not going to get quite to Jupiter, but it's in that space. It's going to quincunx that Neptune in Pisces, and it's just kind of like chilling here, but making really good aspects to the nodes, coming off of those good aspects to the nodes as well in Leo. So this is a great sort of energy where we're really understanding sort of what the heart needs to move into to have more value, especially with Venus and Uranus. I think your relationships and money aspect starts getting really weird. Like, and you got to make sure you're in your self-value, self-love place so that you can make good decisions, because it is still decision time with Mars still in Gemini with the North Node. You got to be able to switch gears for what makes the most sense and stay objective. Don't get too overly emotional about one thing or another right now, because that's going to come in more on Friday when Mars comes into Cancer anyway. So we want to sort of stay objective and let the heart sort of discern what is really real, what is really going on, and are the relationships right? Is the money right? And is this in a place that I, am finding comfort and value and in a place to manifest a really amazing sort of space. So not a bad place for the moon. It's kind of dealing with this sort of expansion and retraction and opposition, like with people. So there's like our self-empowerment and how we're trying to like shine and find our value and our self-worth right now. And then there's sort of this big energy opposing it in Aquarius where, you know, people and groups in our life are either sort of expanding our world and helping us innovate and go to the next level, or people are kind of holding you back from your shine, which is sort of a Wednesday energy as well. But Wednesday's pretty solid as we look at the scores. You know, Venus is just really doing nice things for us. So pretty decent scores. So Thursday, we start to see the final day, full day here of Mars in Gemini. So this is sort of, that 29 degrees is always edgy, and Mars is edgy. Mars at 29 degrees is going to sextile that 29 degrees of Aries, which is where the sun crossed over on Monday. It's where Mars was at when the whole Capitol thing went down. So interesting energy currently that we just experienced around that 29th degree of Aries, and then we're getting this sort of Mars sextile. You know, it's interesting. It's like maybe something comes out about that this week, or, you know, that gets brought up again for whatever reason, or there's something similar to it, which is interesting because there's something about that to me that just really felt staged on a lot of different levels of just the people walking in and the cameras filming and it and just being like kind of guided in by, there was just weird aspects of it, and I don't know if it was fake or not. I don't, but it gave me that vibe that there was something planned about it. Maybe there's some truth that comes out about it. Maybe it wasn't planned. Maybe it was. Maybe something comes out. I don't know. Maybe something similar comes up that is sort of an illusion or planned. Because I got to be honest, I've looked at a few different things that's going on in our world right now, and it's hard to fully believe a lot of the videos that are coming out. There just doesn't appear to be, you know, a lot of proper protocol that's going on. It just, some of it seems to be, to me at least, to be very staged. And, you know, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that it's worth questioning right now. There's a lot of light in questioning and not just falling for what you see. And that's what I want to, you know, put out there for you guys, is like, we have to spiritually discern what we're seeing and dig in deeper and not just take things at face value and be like, oh, that's the end all be all. Like we gotta go deeper and look at like the bigger meaning and like find if there is some truth and some value in these situations. And I think that's important, I'll be honest. The moon will cross over Regulus and this guy. I'm just going to cross him out for now because I don't like it there. And making that, yeah, so there's a lot of that 29 degree energy going on in Mars. Anyways, what's good is Mars and Regulus will be in that sextile coming into that 0 degree of Cancer. So there is big time like regal energy to like make big positive changes, I would say, coming into Thursday, Friday in our lives. And that moon's trying to purify and clean things up in Virgo here, and it's going to make really nice aspects to the planets in Taurus. So I think that Thursday is sort of an interesting day where we really want to look for truth. We want to ground in what's pure. We want to sort of find what's stable. But if we have to switch things up to step into a more pure place or a better place of manifestation or self-worth or self-love or understand what the physical world is doing, like, it's a great time to sort of make that, you know, happen. Do some spring cleaning just within yourself, so that, you know, you're feeling good. So it's a you know, you want to feel good in Taurus season. It's definitely that kind of energy, but I see like that being harder than maybe usual with these transits and with a Saturn that's getting ready to square all this Taurus energy. It's not just like a stop and smell the roses amazing time. There's a lot going on like major different layers of astrology. So the galactic, the cycles that we're in with Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter. Like, we are in very intense cycles right now. So we have to understand on these daily horoscopes, when I go through this, like, there is an intensity to them, because on bigger levels, we're in intense times. And Capricorn energy, which is great. I'm a Capricorn. I love Capricorn energy, but there's a lot about Capricorn energy going on right now that is really about control and manipulation. And we have to be conscious of that so that we can take our own power and reach our own highest peak in life without just serving to help these people that we don't even see reach their highest of highest goals, which is not ideal, in my opinion, for humanity. And you can go look that stuff up. Like, go to the World Economic Forum. You can see what these people put out in plain daylight. And if that vibes with you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's wrong, but I'll be honest, it doesn't vibe with me. I think us as people deserve the power. I don't think that we should give up everything in our world so that other people can have everything and we can have nothing. Just my opinion. Take it or leave it. Like, I just want people to take their own power back, make good decisions for themselves, and that's why I put this out there, is to try and, in some way, shape, or form, give you some sort of edge to take your power back in life by using astrology. And Thursday's a damn good day to take your power back, with Regulus and Mars in sextile. But then there's this dark energy here of Lucifer, also spelling people to take a lot of maybe energy and regalness and sort of assertiveness for whatever all the Capricorn cycles are trying to take us. But then there's also the Jupiter Saturn in Aquarius, which is like, no, actually these next 20 years are about new innovative ways forward for the people and being objective and not just falling in line. So I think we get a lot of that this week. There's a lot of energy, I think, that's trying to keep people stuck. And this is a time to liberate ourselves in our own values, in our own heart space, and in relationships in life, and especially our relationship to self and with money. That's why I think crypto is important, because it gets you sort of out of their system and into one for the people, because it's peer-to-peer and you don't have a middleman. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I do like crypto, is because it fits with the astrology so well. So that's all I have to say about that. Friday, we get the ingress of Mars into Cancer. So, like I said when we started, this is definitely a slowdown. This is a big change of energy. We look at the scores here. We have a Mars -2, Sun -5. The Moon's doing well as it comes into, it's sharing reception, I think. Reception of exaltation with Mercury. So the Moon's doing very good in Virgo. Venus +9, still killing it. And Mercury's doing well because of being with the Moon in exalted mutual reception. So it's not like this is just terrible energy, but this is definitely having us get emotional. So whatever came up this week, like by Friday, it's like, are these emotions driving us in really strange places? It can be like emotional manipulation that can be used against us by this sort of media energy, or you're emotionally connected to the divine and going in new directions that are opening up the world, that, you know, we're standing up for something bigger. So there's something amazing about Cancer, being able to protect and being able to stand up and nurture and help people. And that's what we want to really, that is what we want to fight for, but it's not by the narrative that's going to be pushed to us. It's like different ways with Aquarius. So interesting energy that we're coming into, and we get Venus and Mercury and Uranus, with Uranus right at the midpoint, quite the stellium in Taurus. And there's going to be trines from the Moon to start the day and close off that Thursday. So there's like this, I mean, this emotional purity to take the higher road in life, to take the higher road in reality. And what's the higher road? It's just a spiritual road. I'll be honest. It's just not judging everybody, letting people have their opinion. There's so many splits. We can judge people and hate people and dislike people for having a different opinion all we want, for wearing a mask, for not wearing a mask, for getting a shot, for not getting a shot, for being a Republican, for being a Democrat, for being this color skin, for being that color skin. I mean, it's absurd when you look at it, when we're all just human and we're all really, here to thrive together, but that's not what they want you to think. They want you to fight each other so that they can literally control the world. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and he outcasts his father Uranus so that he can control the universe. And I think that's what I just want to get out is like, don't let your universe be controlled. Take power back for your reality and purify spiritually and make changes in your life to have an emotional understanding of that connection, because fighting people is not going to change anything. You're just, in a lot of ways, that's actually part of the problem right now. And I know that's going to trigger people, and people aren't going to agree with me, but it's like there's another control system in play that is manipulating people emotionally, and this is going to be really not good for Mars in Cancer. So that's why I really don't like the Mars in Cancer transit that we're about to go through, is because there's already emotional propaganda. There's already emotional manipulation. So if you're not in a place of emotional sovereignty and security within self, you are very susceptible to whatever is about to get projected onto us, and it's scary. Because we're in a very delicate place. So that moon's also going to oppose Neptune on Friday. So this is a very strange day. Mars coming into Cancer with the moon opposed Neptune, but the moon coming off Uranus and Venus and all that energy too. And then quincunxing Saturn and the midpoint of Jupiter. It's a very auspicious sort of energy where we can definitely be extremely spelled into some sort of purity that's being forced on us, or thinking that reality has to only look a certain way based on whatever this energy is telling you, which could be spirit, which is the higher vibration of Neptune in Pisces. So there could be this really great energy that you were fighting with of like, do we take the higher step to just the spiritual truths and what's coming through in this purity, or are we going to listen and just get spelled into really unfortunate things that, I do believe that a lot of people and souls are meant to take place in that. So I'm not even trying to say that it's bad. I'm not trying to be that person at all or judge it. But I, want spiritually aware people who I would assume watch this channel to take that higher road. I mean, I don't want to manipulate you to do that either, but I'm just saying there is an option and sort of a liberation within our physical world to take the higher road with Uranus here about our feelings, our relationships, our money, our understanding, our communication, our mind, and our emotions, and to purify in that. And I think that there's amazing things that can happen, and I think that that will help, stick up for the right things emotionally without just being spelled to stick up for things that are being projected by an outside source. So I know it's harsh stuff. It's triggering. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. My guides are even like, yeah, people don't like you. I'm like, I know. I'm too Uranian in a very Saturnian Capricorn world, and I'm even a Capricorn, but my moon's in Aquarius, and my sun's with Uranus and Neptune, and I can't help it, but I'm just different, and I just want you guys to know that I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying these things are going to happen, but they are sort of my energetic feelings and the way that I'm seeing the world right now. We have to have some sort of compassion and love, but it has to be with self first right now, so that we're not getting spelled into just jumping into whatever we're told, which people love to do what they're told in this life right now, and that's fine. I'm not that person, so I'm more Uranian, where I'm trying to help people liberate and really be unique to self and not just go in whatever direction's being told. Saturday we get the moon in Libra, so it definitely comes down to like, we've got to find some balance in this world. We got to figure some things out. We got to like weigh out something, because it seems like this is one of those weeks where, you know, we're in a place of emotion. We're going to have the square to Mars. Like, we got to see the beautiful parts of life and not just shy away from what isn't. I think we have to look at all angles. We have to look at a lot. And, you know, this is like where, with the moon in Libra in an air sign and Mars in the moon's home sign of Cancer, getting a 0-degree square, it's a little weird. Be honest. It's going to be really interesting trying to find balance emotionally when, you know, we have to be vulnerable with ourselves, I think, and vulnerable with other people, and really put out sort of how we're feeling, communicate, take action for what we do feel is balanced, and not, you know, I would say that like we can't just force people ever into feeling a certain way. Like, we can put our truth out there. Like, I put my truth out on this channel. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what I think's right or wrong. I don't even believe in that. I think that everything's happening for a divine purpose right now, and for people that are curious, I just think that there's a higher road personally, but that's just my belief, and we all have it. So again, this is like trying to find emotional understanding and balance in such a weird sort of energy that we're in this week. And like, how do we take the higher road? And how do we, you know, be secure with all these sort of opinions and beliefs and emotions that are going on in the world? And I think that could be difficult on Saturday with that square, but, you know, not impossible. And then we get the moon quincunx the sun, and it'll get close to an opposition to Chiron. And we'll start to see it approach the trine to Saturn. So Saturday, in my opinion, with all this energy passing Uranus, it's like, did we take the elevator up, and are we finding some sort of balance and harmony and beauty within self, so that it's much easier for us to not get emotionally manipulated and then acting on that, which is the issue I see with this Mars in Cancer right now. I'll be honest, it's already so apparent that people are very emotionally manipulated, and I want to see people grab their sovereignty. So I would say that is the ultimate value right now, is your sovereignty, your power, and your understanding to act on your emotions and not let other people get to you emotionally, or, you know, take you out of your security or value. And I think that Fridays and Saturday are great days, especially Saturday, to like really, you know, really step into the beauty of self and, you know, find justice for yourself with the moon here in Libra, but also, you know, see beauty in other people too. Like, that's the thing, is we have to just, like, I see the beauty in people. Even if I put out something on Twitter and people hate me for it because it goes against their belief system of what the world looks like, or even if people comment on this or dislike this because I'm putting this, my truth out in this way because they don't agree with it, like, we have to just understand, like, there's still beauty in that person, in that being. Like, we don't have to agree with it. We also don't have to fight them over it. We're never going to change, like right now, you're not going to change someone's belief system. So we have to just come to some sort of balance within ourselves. And I think this is a great week to understand that, like, just come into some, you know, a form of grace and beauty, and understand that, like, other people are on their own path. And that's the beauty of Libra, and the moon comes in there on Saturday, is like, everybody has their own opinion. Let them have it. Let them go in that direction, and, you know, so be it. Like, you don't have to take it. Scorpio's where you take what's passionate. So, you know, we want to use that Libra energy to just take what comes. You don't have to receive everything. And don't let people take you out of your, you know, value and sort of your stairway to the next level here. And then we get Venus and Mercury this weekend. I would like to erase, please. Thank you. Square Saturn. So this is wild energy where I think we start to see a lot of structure, a lot of connections. Do they really meet the ultimate value system? Do our relationships, are they on that next level? Are they, is there some sort of commonality between how you see the physical world right now? Do people see the beauty in you? Do you see the beauty in them? But also, like, you gotta take authority for your values in life also. So we don't want to let people manipulate us into a value system that is not our own and have us, connect to just some sort of dystopian, low vibration of Aquarius mindset. Like, you want to liberate right now. And I think that this is a great weekend too, with the moon here and Libra. Like, really, emotionally understand, try to step out of the emotions and be a little bit more objective, and like make some serious calls in your life when it comes to relationships and how your understanding of what this world looks like, understanding of money looks like, so that you can really like elevate. And Sunday, the sun's not doing much at these early degrees of Taurus, so I haven't been talking about it much. But it's just kind of like hitting 2 degrees per day, and it's not really aspecting much. It's coming off the trine, of course, to Mars, but anyways, just want to say that. And that moon here is going to come off the opposition to Chiron, quincunx Neptune, and also make quincunxes over to the Taurus energy, which is all coming off the squares to Saturn. So it gets interesting. I mean, there are like, I would say concrete sort of decisions that have to be objectively made, when it comes to people in our lives, when it comes to ourselves, and what the true values are, and where are we innovating and growing, and what do we need to restrict ourselves from to take the higher road. I think that's important too. And there's like an integrity to like, not go into a low place. And it's hard. And I had to learn that lesson last week. Like, I am going to put my truth out, and people aren't going to like it, and I don't have to even comment on it. Like, I'm not going to convince anybody of anything. Like, I'm trying my best to just show people that there's a way to just be in a higher place. And I think a lot of you are in it, and I love that. And, I'm so happy that you listen to what I have to say and feel the same, because I think that it is that light work right now that isn't being spelled and manipulated that is so important. So important. And the connection to the divine, because that's one thing the media will never talk about, is the divine, is something bigger, are these big cycles that we're in. They're just giving you emotional stuff to have you feel weird. And I think we need to pay attention to it too. That's the hard part too, is we do want to pay attention to what these people and these forces and these energies are trying to do. We just can't lose ourselves in that value. We have to come into our own values and pay really good attention to that and own a life that we want. And I think this weekend's a great time where we step into that, where we see the moon trine Saturn and try and get close to trining Jupiter, but kind of right there in the midpoint. And like, let a higher calling spiritually be what's puppeting you, and not just a black screen. And we have to use spiritual discernment for that and weigh these things out with the moon in Libra. And I think that with the moon too, in trine to that Saturn, which is exalted in Libra, like, we have to take justice for ourselves, balance out things in life, but don't forget about what makes you feel good and what's giving you the ultimate life. And I think that that's so important coming off the square to Saturn. Is like, got to take value. You got to take what really vibrates with you, what's on your frequency, what's taking you higher, and, not just weigh that out forever, but, actively just like justify what's the best for you in the physical world. And I think that really does bring, a lot of beauty as we close off the week and get ready for a full moon in Scorpio next week. So I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you enjoyed going through these charts. Again, I go through them much deeper individually on the website, but that's sort of my rundown and kind of how I've been feeling about this week coming up. We'll see what happens. I think it's just there's auspicious energy. I do get a feeling that emotional propaganda takes another leap and another bound, and it's just interesting to see where a lot of these planets are and how everything's kind of hitting that 29 Aries, which was where Mars was. So we got to discern what's real spiritually with our heart. We got to use our mind and also like really look at things for ourselves in this physical world and try to take a higher sort of path and understanding and objectivity of what is going on when it comes to so many different things within this world and money and values. And I just don't want to see, I'm such a fan, and I'm a proponent of sovereignty and freedom. And it's so interesting to me that people don't want their freedoms and their sovereignty right now. And they really look at people that do want that as some sort of disease. So interesting. So whether you think I'm a disease or not, because I believe that we're all sovereign humans that should, take advantage of this life to the fullest. And I try and give like my advice of how to do that and what to watch out for through the astrology. So be it. But that's my job as a light worker. Like, I don't want to see people be chained to a Capricorn system. As a Capricorn, I'm telling you, you need to reach the top of your own life. And this is a great time to do that. It really is. So use that energy to propel yourself higher, love yourself more, and not get lost in so many different avenues. And I'm not saying one side's pushing more emotional propaganda than the other. I think I've been trying my best to look into both sides. It's both sides. So you really have to look at where the divine is. If there are aspects in life that aren't bringing up the divine right now, and God, and real light stuff, like if it doesn't have that mixed into it, it's got to be really dug in deeper on yourself so that your guides can come in and tell you if that's true, or give you that spiritual discernment to help you out. I love you all very much. Hope you have a beautiful week. We'll see how it goes. Love you. Peace.